Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Here we go.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Right, good evening. We're here this evening for November 7th hearing. First thing I will do is call the roll. Patrice Scott is here. Butch Cushing.
Present.
Howard Burnham is not here at present. We're hoping he's on his way. And Tom McLaughlin?
Present.
Okay. All right. Do we want to look at the minutes of October 3rd, our public hearing? And we are the same three members who were here on October 3rd. So if anybody sees anything, I looked through them at the beginning of the meeting and I did not see anything.
Under new business, I believe it's law lecture series, not wall.
Law lecture, right. Yeah, I wondered about that. Wall Street law, okay. Okay, so we can make that correction. Anything else? Did people need time to read it? Or have you been able to read?
I'm all set.
Just a question, Madam Chair. Was Freeman's resignation also at that meeting, or did it come in afterwards? Or before?
Yeah, I don't believe we had a resignation.
He sent me an email.
Okay, no, we did not have a resignation. I was just going to
Okay.
ask you about that because I didn't see it says Freeman was excused, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So it must have been subsequent to that. Well, that's
Okay.
new business.
Okay, new business, so you want us to, what if we don't accept it?
Yeah, we should have done that.
All right,
But
okay, why don't we add that to new business? Well, we don't have that here, but we can add it, okay.
thank you. I'm all set.
Okay, all right, so I would entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of October 3rd.
So moved.
Seconded?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Tom, I'm sorry, I just lost any new pen.
You were second on that?
Yep.
I think this is Murphy's Law here.
Easy.
Murphy's Law tonight. My pen doesn't work. Okay, so we did that, and now we are here to consider a request for rehearing of case number 107-056, which was a request for a variance on October 3rd, 17. All right, so I would just like to start by saying I apologize for my oversight in not mentioning to you at the beginning of the hearing. That's something I had written down and intended to do. I just forgot when we started that when we only have, our board is down a few people, so it's up to the applicants if you wish to go forward or not. The problem with not going forward is we've been asking for new members for quite a while, and it's kind of hard to get people. I don't know exactly when we'll have a full board. So the only difference that makes is if you agree to go forward when you have less than the full board, then that can't be a grounds for an appeal, the fact that we didn't have the full board. The fact you can appeal on any other grounds, any substantive matter, or any new information that comes forward, but it's just not, you know, the fact that there were only 3 versus 5 members would not be a grounds for appeal. Okay, so.
Point of order,
Right.
Madam Chair. Also, when we're dealing with a short board and the votes, it has to be 3 votes in the affirmative, which reflects the nature of the quorum.
Right.
Otherwise, there's still the question about how the other members have
Right.
and it may skew the vote that way. How this impacts tonight, I do not know from any kind of a legal standpoint, so.
Okay, well, I guess my feeling is at this point, and unfortunately, we were hoping to have Howard here, who would have given us one more person just to hear and to consider, but if he's not present, then we're back to the 3. So we'll see. We can go forward and see what happens.
Or were you offering them that choice again?
Offer them what choice? Yeah, they're really, what other choice do we really have? Go forward or stay, put it off until we have a full board, which could be.
This is the rehearing you're talking about.
Yeah, well, just the decision for the rehearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Not because we've been advised, our counsel, that we need to have the decision to rehear first, and then we would set a date for the rehearing. And that way, so you can give any of the abutters notice to come forward if they wish to again. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so what would the applicant like to do?
So as the applicants for the board today, only being 3 people, we would like to move forward.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. All right, then I would, do we have a public hearing on this, the decision? No, it's not, it's just a decision, so, okay, so, I would be open to having another hearing because it's mea culpa, it was my fault.
I know, but we're not going to beat you up on it
Yeah,
so much,
yeah.
but I kind of feel that way too.
Yeah,
They've
I mean, it was a
good idea.
procedural error that I feel, we should correct. That's my feeling.
I mean, that they have a decent idea, and they've got a full right to have 4 people.
Right.
So.
And if
that's
we
fine
have the
with me,
4th,
too.
so and I think if we can make contact with Howard so that the next time there at least be 4, that would be
Yeah.
very good.
I'd warn them,
Because
though,
I
against
felt very
getting your things out,
uncomfortable.
that, you are coming right down into a single family
Yeah,
zone. And,
yep,
that doesn't overturn it, but they have got a right to 4 people. I
Yeah.
think that's true.
okay, so, how do you feel, Butch?
I feel the same way. I think that we made a mistake there without announcing that
Yep.
they had a choice, and I would feel better with 4 people here too,
Right,
myself.
I do too.
So entertain a motion.
Share the
Make a
burden.
motion, we grant the rehearing.
Okay, Tom,
Second it?
Butch, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, there we go. All right, so we'll see, work on getting, now we have to set the date?
Yes, I have some information on that for you, Madam
Okay.
Chair. The next scheduled meeting is December 5th.
Yep.
There is enough time to hold a ZBA hearing on a Tuesday night. Oops, where are my notes? There they are. If it was scheduled for the 21st, then the newspaper ad would go in on 11/16, which is 6 calendar days before the meeting. We're required to have 5
Okay.
days.
So we could do it.
It doesn't specify what kind of days they are. Sometimes they say not counting Sundays, but I read through the chapter here, and you can yourself if you wish. Also, in the rules of procedure, you guys can schedule these meetings at any time as long as we have proper public notice.
Right,
So we can squeeze it in.
Well, I
if-
think is that the soonest we could do it?
Yes.
Okay. Then I would think, well, how about you guys? Are you
Well, I mean, you
available?
gotta know that you can get Howard here.
Yeah, well, that's,
That date's what,
Okay.
November 21st?
Yes.
Okay, November.
Tuesday, November 21st.
So
you
why
wanna
don't
do-
we just kind of go with November 21st or the 5th?
Okay,
And that way, if he says, oh, I
Okay.
can't go then, I'm
right,
supposed to
and
be
we
away.
can
This
contact
does-
Howard.
If we reschedule, it has to be to a date certain.
Dates, isn't that,
But it's pending.
oh,
And it's actually not quite the same because we're going to have to renotice all the abutters in the newspaper anyway.
Right.
So I think the best thing, for us to do is to look at this as if it was brand new in front of the board.
Right,
Because with the rehearing, I mean, it starts the clock all over again.
right,
So,
right. Well, I just hate to see the applicants have to wait any longer than
but if,
necessary.
if he can do it on that
If he
date,
can do it, why don't we set
We
it
would
for the
need to confirm,
21st?
yes.
Otherwise, December, our normal one. I think that's,
okay. So the default one would be the regularly scheduled.
right, 12/5. Okay, and if you just let us know, Brian, and,
I will.
because
I'll-
other
get on
than
this
him being
tomorrow.
on vacation or out of, could be visiting a grandchild or something.
So it looks like Tuesday, November 21st. If I get confirmation from Howard, I'm assuming that you guys will all be here that night. I haven't asked you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And if not, then it would default to the 5th. Again, he's going to have to make one or the other. We're going to have a firm commitment
Right,
from all the board members. So I'll find that out tomorrow. I'll communicate
be
that
here,
with you.
yep,
I
for
would just
both.
caution you not to
any.
reply all.
Right.
So keep
Right.
everything straight to me and I'll
Right,
disseminate.
it does present a problem because we're only 3 right now, so
Right.
any 2 could be a quorum.
Okay.
Okay, so we would just let Brian do the interplay.
Okay, and that,
Okay, and what else? Okay, I think that's it. And-
I just put in an order for the new books for next year.
okay,
So
great.
those will be coming forward.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask the board. I wanted to, do you guys think we should, if we need an amendment, and we can check with our council, whether it would be acceptable when we have a rehearing, that if there's a way to notice people that if the rehearing is granted, we could go ahead that evening with a
With the
hearing, with the rehearing? Do you remember doing that before,
Yeah,
Tom?
I do, actually, yeah.
I think it was
But
advertised
it had to be
as-
advertised as that.
Right, it had to
And
be
then you-
advertised as
yeah.
that, right, so that's why I said I'm sorry that we were advised it has to
Yeah.
be in 2 steps right now, but maybe we can ask our
Well,
John Radigan
they'll find
if
out
it
if
would
it's
be
right,
okay,
it's
right?
right.
If we can go back to the way they used to do it, and I think it was the way it was worded in the announcement, that if the rehearing is granted, the
Yeah.
hearing will go forward. That
It
way
would take
everybody
care of the
knows
30
they can
days
come.
notice. That would take care of it, and maybe
Yeah.
write the abutters.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's, that way it's quicker for the applicant. I think that would be more expeditious. So, okay.
Is this your first rehearing, Madam Chair?
My first rehearing, yeah. I think so. Yep. So I remember going to the Paysac one, sitting in the back of the room.
Right. And being ignored. Never made it into the record.
Okay, let's not get
That's
into
okay.
history.
And it all turned out to be a big nothing ball too, because we haven't heard a
wasn't it
peep out of them.
always? We were so much younger, it was fun.
Right.
Okay, anything
All right.
else?
Yep, well, I just wanted to bring up, under new business, Freeman's resignation. Apparently, he resigned, and I'd just like to say thank you, Freeman, for all the years that you've been a very faithful servant. We're sorry to lose you, but we understand. So, thank
He
you.
was great, he was on for a long time.
Yeah, and Eleanor was our public.
Yeah,
so-
I know.
All right, and other than that, we could adjourn.
1 second.
Oh,
Did
yep.
we vote on the motion? Did we have a motion?
Yeah, we had a motion to
Should be
rehear.
rehearing, I
Yep.
second.
No, for the request to Radigan.
Oh, you need a motion to check, all right.
I
Sure.
don't know, but
We'll ask, would
Let's-
you move to check with council whether we could hold a rehearing on the same evening once it's granted with the proper
I don't think
notice?
there's any issue there.
It's a notice issue, but for
It's a
some
notice, yeah, but
reason.
you cover yourself with that by
Right,
noticing for both of them,
Right, so I'm
so.
gonna dig up an old notice and see if we can
Yeah.
run it by him,
yeah.
okay?
And I believe if we put it to him in that regard, then he would,
Right. And
may
whether
see
we
it
need an
that way.
amendment to our procedures or.
right. I
okay.
mean, we could do that more formally at the next meeting.
Yeah, okay. But so, I move that we do that.
Okay, second it. Yep.
Okay, Tom, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you have a motion.
Okay. I will take care of that tomorrow.
Motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Second it.
Okay,
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
very good.